We're back with another episode of Women Running It.
And we don't have anything to really review.
Nope, I'm still drinking black coffee and water.
I don't have anything, so I apologize about that.
I mean, I'm fasting to try to get this vacation weight off.
I'm like, it is what it is.
It
is what it is.
Got another vacation coming up. I can't go like this.
You can't go like this. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I need to get the vacation pounds off. I do. I have to reset.
Okay.
So fast if you like to reset. Under doctor's orders if you need to, please. No disclaimer here. I'm not responsible.
All her. Okay. So today, A-Marie was inspired by Married to Medicine episode where Miss Toya, one of the wives of Married to Medicine, who is married to medicine, she's married to her husband who is in medicine.
Yes, he's a young physician.
Has no actual job that she has to go to.
She is a stay-at-home mom, and that is a job.
Well, I say that because when we spoke about her previously, and I said she does not work, someone brought up the fact that she has a wine company or wine something. Remember you brought that up? And I was like, that's
she
nothing.
does?
Didn't you say that? Didn't you say, what is that?
Not Toya.
Who was it?
I don't know. It wasn't her. It was somebody
It
else.
was Toya we was talking about.
She don't have no wine.
What was the wine that she was talking about?
I can't remember. It wasn't her. I know who. Now I know what you're talking about, but it wasn't her. Because she don't have no business. Do she have a business?
I said no, but I thought you said she did.
I don't think she has a business. It's not her. It's somebody else. I know. Let me ask.
It was her. But either way, I'm saying separate from being a mother. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah,
she does not have a job to go to separate from being a mother. Her kids are of school age. Mm-hmm. So it's not like she is still in the toddler stages where she stay at home with them.
6 to 8 hours a day
of freedom. And
freedom.
Her husband. Well, it is freedom.
It is because we locked up to a job during those hours. You right?
Yes,
you're right.
And so her husband is burnt out because he's been working excessively
for years. Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. So prior to the pandemic, he was working a lot, just in general, to keep up with her expenses. Then they had some tax issues where taxes apparently were not being paid. And so in order to, adjudicate that, he had to get a second job, which turned into excessively working. Mm-hmm. Then the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. And that automatically made him
for everybody in the medical field. That was just a shit show for everybody.
So now she is saying her issue is that she has been emotionally neglected because he has not been home for her to enjoy him as a companion.
So those are my words, emotional neglect, because most recent episode of Married to Medicine, she was accused of cheating. And so, Toya's a whole thing. So from season 1, wasn't she on season 1?
Yeah, she's been there.
She's been there since the whole time.
Remember, she hit the person hit her head.
That was funny. Okay, so that's not funny. That's funny. All right. So, but from season 1, mm-hmm. she's had a bad rap, right? Of being what some will call a gold digger, but Nikki C and I were just talking about that is a harsh term for her, being as though a gold digger is more like somebody that all they want is money. I think she wants money and family and love.
Yeah, so for me, and I don't know, we try to even look up the definition. Or no, you looked up synonyms.
Yeah, we looked up the synonyms.
But either way, for me, I think a gold digger is someone who their goal is to dig all the money out of you.
Right. And that's not her.
That's
not her.
For her,
that's not her.
Her goal is to have a family and a husband, but to be very wealthy,
But
where
financially free.
she can spend and do as she pleases.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even when you have someone who makes a considerable amount of money, being that they're in the medical field, for her and her expenses, sometimes that is not enough. And so that's why he's had to do a little bit
More than one
excessive
job.
working.
Or overtime.
So to say she is a flat out gold digger, that's why I was saying I think it's kind of harsh, because I think she wants the whole
Kit and caboodle.
Yes. She wants everything, but at the same time she doesn't see that the reason why her husband is working the way he is to please her, so he can be able to keep up with those expenses that she's making. An example is, she's always lived in the richest neighborhoods. Her kids, I'm sure, go to private schools. She always has an extensive wine collection with a decanter and everything. Amazing decanters, right? And she has her own golf cart to ride around in her neighborhood so she can go and play tennis and be a member of a club.
So the question is Toya a gold digger, right? Like, we're trying to, so that's the debate, right? Because, like, is she?
Oh, she has a 3-story closet. Is it 3-story or 2-story?
Not anymore, girl.
Well, she did.
We'll get to that, but yeah, she did. She built one.
Closet.
So her husband built her a house.
Yeah.
Her dream home, she said. She said
She
it was
has
her dream
her own glam crew, right? Because she even gave Anila news
that was a thing.
her glam
That was a
team.
thing. That was a thing.
So, but she doesn't work. Outside of being a mother, she does not work. And her kids are at school age.
She does not bring in any revenue. I mean, I guess outside of Married to Medicine.
Yeah, because I'm sure she's
that
pays.
Yeah, that.
But even with that,
she's still working a lot.
Yes, it's not enough to keep up with her expenses.
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
And it's really her expensive, because he's not at all, and I don't know if flamboyant is the word, but he's not a flashy person.
And I don't see any expensive hobbies that he has, right?
None.
So like Curtis, right? So like Curtis, Dr. Jackie's husband, his hobby is classic cars. That's an expensive hobby. Mm-hmm. So we can at least see where he splurges, right? And I really don't see where Eugene splurges. Do you?
He doesn't.
I don't see him splurging. Yeah.
He always works.
I don't see him.
And when he goes out, he looks like an average.
Yeah, like, he
doesn't wear like name brand clothing.
Even Quad's husband or ex-husband, he was like an avid golfer.
Yeah.
So at least his money was going on like golf memberships and golfing. You know what I mean? Like that.
I don't even know if they have any fancy cars. I don't think that he has her husband. I don't think he has like any fancy like cars or anything. Does he?
I think he has like one. She has one and he has one.
Okay.
It's not like Curtis, who's like a collector.
I
don't see him splurging.
All of his money really goes to her. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I'm sure she provides through him to the kids in regards to making sure.
She takes care of
Yeah, so it's not like it's 100% her, but I will say 85% of the money that comes in that house is to her.
I mean, Toya, you're not helping me here.
It is.
Because, I mean, this is such a, so on the most recent episode of Married to Medicine, she was accused of cheating with another man in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Took her golf cart over there, pulled up.
Dang,
she took her golf cart over there.
But it was like,
she was like, you can't come over my house because we got cameras.
One of the girls that was in the neighborhood
saw her little golf cart.
Said this. And Toya's no longer friends with her.
Of course.
Prior to her saying this to the group.
But I mean, would your friend say something like that? Of course they're not friends anymore.
No. I mean,
she's saying it because she's going to get back.
Yeah. Right. And, and so it's like, I don't want to believe it. Because I feel like Eugene is such a good guy.
He is.
What does that mean, though? Like, I just said I don't want to believe it. I didn't say it didn't happen. I just said I just don't want to believe that he would be going above and beyond and giving 150%, and she go and do that. That's what I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe that. And I really hope that through the rest of the season that she proves that this rumor is truly false. Mm-hmm. For his sake, really. For his sake. Because
for the family's sake, you know. They have 2 kids, so.
Yes, but yes, you know, but the offense is really directly to him. The children will be, you know, the innocent bystanders that are going to get hit. Mm-hmm. You know, unfortunately, if this is true, I'm hoping that it's not.
She ain't get no golf cart for no reason.
She's been getting this bad rap for all of these seasons.
Because of her being materialistic,
that's what her being, yeah, right. Her not caring about her husband's well-being.
That's what she presents.
I mean, because every season, this is her storyline every season. Mm-hmm. You know, one whole season was they were behind in taxes, so he was doubling up on work to pay their taxes down. You know, another season was building her dream home. Then here we are with the new season. She sold her dream home. You know,
but even that season where they were paying back taxes, she still had an elaborate birthday party.
Well, remember they had a party. They had a party for getting back in the black.
What is it, black card or
no getting? Yeah, it was. I forgot.
I don't know.
But it was because they had paid off their debt.
Yeah, but even prior to that, she had a birthday party, and supposedly she was on a budget. But even the budget that she had for her birthday party, if you were a regular person, you wouldn't spend that much money if you owe taxes. You spend all that money on a birthday party, and you owe taxes, and your husband is working 2 jobs to pay off those taxes, but yet you're still spending thousands of dollars on a birthday party. That says a lot right there. And so that's why I say, yes, this has been the talk, but this is what she is presenting. We can't talk about it if she didn't present it.
I mean, you know, I'm trying here. I'm pulling at straws. I do think that she loves her husband.
Yes. Well, let me put it this way. I believe at one point she was very in love with her husband. At this point, I do not believe so, because
you feel like she's like setting it up for divorce.
I do.
Because she's saying things like,
yeah, she's already been seeking a therapist because she's going through so much.
And she's not happy in her marriage. That's what I hear with the emotional neglect, because he works a lot. But he's not there.
He's working for her.
For her. So it's a double-edged sword,
because
right?
You can be a doctor and have more at-home time if you didn't have to spend as much on materialistic things. Like houses. They had one house that they owned, right? They had to get out of that house because they owed taxes, so they went and downsized.
They didn't own that one. I think they rented. They were renting.
Well, when they downsized, they were renting that one. So then,
the only house that they
got back in the black or green or whatever it is, and built the dream home that cost an excessive amount of money because of all of the
bells and whistles.
Yes. The 3-story closet in her bedroom, the shelves that moved.
And then she stayed in it for everything. Like a month or two. Somebody made her an offer, and she took that shit.
And now she's back to renting.
Now they're back.
But it's still a very large house. A very large house.
It might be bigger than the one she just had built.
But yet she's still renting. And when you rent, you can't write that off.
It's a waste of money.
No.
Especially in their circumstances, right? Like people that rent are, a lot of people that rent can't afford to purchase. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not their story. So for them, it's truly just a waste of money. They're just not.
Well, apparently the reason why they're renting now is because now they're going to build another dream home. But
you can still buy.
Even so, in this market, really go ahead and buy. while you're building your dream home, then you can sell this one out, and at least you're making some kind of profit off of it.
Yeah, you're not just flushing money down the toilet.
But again, I think because they're not financially smart. Overall, they're not financially smart.
I will say this, Eugene, I don't remember what season it was, but he brought up a really good point. He said in Black households, first of all, they're the first ones that made it. So in his household, nobody taught them how to manage their money. Because he's the first generation to make it beyond, to make it beyond that financial threshold. I don't want to put a class on it. I don't want to say that out loud, but they didn't have the resources. They didn't have the salary that he has. He's the first generation of his family to make it to that financial level. And so what he was saying was, they didn't teach them. Like, how can you teach somebody something that you don't have? You know what I'm saying? Like, how to budget their money when you get to this level. That's why a lot of people get robbed, because they go and they hire accountants, and the accountants be stealing from them. Hell, Steve Harvey just came out with a whole thing about how he owed $22 million to the IRS, and that was because his accountant was doing his taxes, and he would write the check to the IRS, and the accountant would, and he would give it to his accountant to pay on his behalf, and the accountant was taking the exact amount of money out of his account and not submitting the check. Mm-hmm. So when he saw, like, for example, if he was writing $500,000 to the IRS and he saw a $500,000 debit, mm-hmm. He's, putting two and two together and saying that's that, and that wasn't it, and he didn't find out since his accountant died. Mm-hmm. And now he owes $22 million, right? Because it's like when you're the first generation that makes it, who's teaching you how to do this? That's a whole nother ball. That's a whole nother level of the game. That's how to play.
I agree and I disagree. Because I feel like there's people who have struggled mm-hmm. and have never had, and then automatically they're blessed to have. Mm-hmm. But because they don't want to get back to the struggle, mm-hmm. they do what they need to do to make sure that their finances are kept up. Now, you are always going to have those demons, or whatever you want to call them, that try to come in and suck you dry. Mm-hmm.
Especially when they know that you're not used to having that amount of money.
But not even that. If they know that you're depending on them to do everything. So, for instance, and this could be in any job. Mm-hmm. For instance, if you never check on the people that you have mm-hmm. doing work for you, mm-hmm. and they know you're not checking on them, that you just believe and trust that they're doing what they're supposed to do, mm-hmm. at some point, they are going to not do what they're supposed to do.
See, this is the thing, right? So
you have to check on them.
But Steve Harvey's point was he was checking on them because
to a certain degree.
Because he was seeing the exact amounts. Like, he was like, it wasn't like,
No, but to a certain degree. Because after the first year, when you hand that check over, and yes, you saw it come out of the debit or deposit or whatever, when you go into the future years, instead of just letting somebody handle all your paperwork, if you handled or looked at some of that paperwork, you could have seen that you still owe the previous. It wasn't paid off. But because at a certain point, when you get so rich that you have people managing,
you have so many employees.
But sometimes you have to. That's why the NFL stars, NBA stars. Mm-hmm. That's why all of them they get robbed mm-hmm. from their agents, from their what do they call accountants, mm-hmm. because they depend solely on these people to do everything.
But again,
and they step out of it.
Nobody has taught them otherwise.
But
I can't teach my children how to ride a bike if I don't know how to ride a bike. I can tell you how I think it goes, but I can't really, if I don't have the experience, I can tell you what I think, but I can't tell you how to do. Like, I can't teach them how to swim if I don't know how to swim. How? I can tell you what I think you need to know, but I can't really teach you.
So this is the thing. I think, there's two ways of doing it. Number one, yes, if you have someone in your corner to teach you these things, awesome. Usually those people are the people who bring you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, number one, if you don't have those people to do it and they can't provide you resources to get the information, you can also get the information yourself. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that I necessarily didn't know or have exposure to growing up, and I had to then go look to make sure I was doing it right. Yes. Even, going to buy my first house or going to, whatever, I had to, get the information for myself since I didn't get it elsewhere. And not saying it negatively, I'm just saying that sometimes, as parents or as people who are helping out, you don't always think about every little thing. Even if you do have the information to share, you may not always share it in the time period that you have with that person, because you have so much that you have to do to keep them going, right? And so even for my parents who we didn't struggle, you know what I mean? We were average, but it was still some things that I didn't necessarily get, but I was still able to do it by finding out for myself. And now, does everybody do that? No. But at the same time,
that's a problem.
But at the same time, there is a way to do it if you don't get it.
Yes, so there is a way. So I'm not totally absolving them from their responsibility of learning what to do with that type of money. But that does play a big factor.
Especially if you don't want to lose that type of money.
Well, they're trying to figure it out, and they're making some mistakes along the way.
A lot of mistakes.
And I hope that they're learning.
You have to know that you have to keep more money in than going out.
I hear it. That's common sense. I just hope that they're learning. Right? Like learning.
Are they?
I'm hoping
they're learning. They just sold a house to go and rent a house, and now they're building another house, and she's still wearing $500 shoes or $1,000 sweatshirt.
Another thing, she gets a lot of slack. Toya gets a lot of slack for being a designer this, designer that, and judging others for who are not.
Yeah.
For example, there's a new lady on the show. She's an attorney. And the most recent episode, she brought up that she didn't say it in this way, but of course, I was able to rework the words, the language, but her feelings were hurt because Toya said, "You running around in Vegas with us with a champion sweatsuit on." And Quad went back and told her what Toya said behind her back about her wearing a champion sweatsuit. And it also was the same place. So Dr. Simone and her husband invited them to dinner at her house, and the lawyer came in with jeans and a t-shirt. But everybody else was dressed up. Because the lawyer was like, I don't know her name, I just keep calling her lawyer. Because the lawyer was like, when my friend invites me to dinner at their house, I wear jeans and a shirt. I don't need to come dressed up.
They're all on TV. They're used to the TV mentality.
And this is my problem with Toya, right? Because I get Toya's, I know what she,
what?
Okay, what I want her to say, look, I was like, because I know what she's trying.
What's she trying to say?
Well, is that you on TV, you can't do that. Like, this is like, or you can, but be prepared for the backlash.
That is not what she's trying to say. She's trying to cut her deep. She don't care about the fact that she has whatever persona on TV. She ain't trying to help her out.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's my problem with her, because all she had to do was pull her aside and say, "Hey, I noticed your first season."
But that's not what her.
I know, but
her thoughts were. Her thoughts were not in helping
TV,
her.
and people are going to talk about you. So do as much as you can to give them less to talk about. No. Like, if she were to pull her aside and give her and educate her, like what we were just talking about, right? Like, teach her, because she's new to this life. Teach her.
That's not what she was trying to do, though. She's trying to get at her. She's coming for her. She is not trying to teach her in any moment, whether it's pulling her to the side or in front of everybody else. She is not trying to teach her. She is coming for her, number one, because she's still upset at what happened the first day when they were going back and forth, and Toya said, she's a lawyer, and the other girl came back at her.
I didn't even know her.
Yeah, and so she came back at her about what did she do, right? And so Toya's so upset at that moment. And so she's coming for her. She's not trying to teach her anything. She's coming for her. She's trying to cut her any chance that she gets. She saw that she wasn't in designer clothes like everybody else. And I say designer, but, Champion is a brand that a lot of people wear. Is it expensive designer? No, but it wasn't like she was wearing something that's, I don't know.
Like a Gucci sweatsuit or a Louis Vuitton sweatsuit.
I mean,
or, you know what I'm saying? Like she was expecting her to dress to the nines like everyone else.
But first of all, if I'm going to my friend's dinner, I'm not.
No, she was talking about in Vegas.
But even for the dinner, when she
Vegas.
went in a t-shirt and jeans.
And she did say something about that.
Yes.
She did say
That's what
something
I'm
about
saying.
that.
But
again,
unless it's a themed dinner, I'm not showing up dressed up unless it's a theme.
Well,
or a special event.
Well, see, this is the thing. You would, because we watch enough Ratchet TV to know that you wouldn't do that.
What are you talking about? If we were on TV, or are you talking about if I show up at your house?
No. See, we're not talking about. See, that's all right. So let's say I invited you to my house, but right, you knew that TV cameras was going to be there for a national syndicated show. You are not coming. You are not going to do that.
Well, so number one,
you're not going to do
talking
that.
to the wrong person though, because for me anyway, I'm not a name brand person.
Well, I know I'm
gonna look nice. I'm gonna make sure I look nice.
But you're not gonna come in jeans.
Yeah, but I might not be all Gucci down and stuff because I'm not Gucci down at any time.
Right. I get that's not even.
And so I think that's how she is though. She is not that type of person who
is in jeans. You wouldn't come in jeans, and you would not. You would not.
Did she have on heels with it?
I don't know.
Or was it like some princess tennis shoes?
I didn't even get that far.
Okay.
I mean, because you see everybody else, and this is the thing.
So when she came in and she felt uncomfortable, she said, "Oh, I didn't know this was a."
Well, that's what I would feel uncomfortable.
Because if that was the case, and I would have been like, "Oh, I didn't know this was a dressy event and it was themed."
Right. So that's why I said we're watching enough.
But if it was like a regular get together, then I would have, it wouldn't have been a big deal. So I don't know. But either way, Toya's intentions were not because of TV. Toya's intentions because she feels like everybody should be like her. Everybody should be on the same level as her, spending the same amount of money. Her quad, really her and quad. Because I don't think Jackie's like that. Jackie's not like that, and Simone's like. Because Simone is kind of tacky sometimes with her choices.
I know, but no, Jackie is. Don't get the game fucked up. Jackie is in designer every time.
Well, but it's not like she has the names all up and down her.
She don't.
She just looks nice.
She got it on.
She just looks nice, right?
Yeah.
She's not selling any products.
No.
Where everybody else, Toya is selling the product. You know what shirt she got on, her pants, her shoes. She is selling it when she walks out on that channel.
And she said that So this is the thing, right? So Toya is just not helping. So I agree. I don't think that her intentions were pure. That's why I was saying what would have been good is for her to pull her to a side and say, hey, look, this
if she had that intention.
This is what we do, right? And so even in Beverly Hills, right? So when they have a cookout or a barbecue, right?
It's a barbecue.
They all know to come dressed to the nines because you on TV. And there's been a couple of girls that have done it, and they say, this is Beverly Hills. And they'll say that, like, this, like, you're not going to come, don't
That's another thing. I think, so to what you're
because
saying,
it's in Atlanta.
It's almost like know your audience, right?
Yes.
In regards to what you're saying. Because whether it's Beverly Hills or whether it's whoever, I know if I'm going over your house, it might be different from going to the White House.
You can come to my house in pajamas every day. But the thing is that if I tell you that there's cameras there, You are not coming
Well,
to
I ain't got to come to your house
Chilling.
with this camera there. I'm like, no.
But you know
I'll
what
be
I'm saying?
like, I'm outside. Can you come and bring me whatever I need? I'm outside.
But you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do that. You just not.
Well, but I wouldn't. So, what? Who was it that wore a ball gown to the dinner and nobody else was dressed like that? Was it Contessa? The last dinner that they had. So they had another dinner. Nobody was dressed like that, but Contessa wore a ball gown like she was running for Miss America.
Contessa's a Bama.
But I'm just saying. So not every dinner.
So now everybody's just kind of expecting her to.
But not every dinner is at that level. So.
No, it's not.
But so that's why I said Toya. That was not her intention. Her intention was to cut her.
I agree.
To cut her deep, and that's what she did, and try to make her feel bad in front of everybody. And but again,
Toya
getting back to
tries to
Toya,
say
that's how
stuff
she is. That's how Toya is.
But she tries to say stuff like, "I don't buy it because it's name brand. I buy it because it's cute."
No.
And I want to believe that, but I don't. I don't, because that's what I do. Like, I buy what I like. I don't buy because of the name. I buy what I like. And if it happens to be a name, so be it.
Now, if I'm a blogger and I'm getting paid to wear certain things because I'm blogging or advertising, yes, you will see the name all over me.
But now that's
but no,
work.
outside of that, you're not going to see me advertising for nobody's stuff just because.
Yeah, I'm not a free billboard.
No,
that's what
I'm not doing it.
Used to say I'm not a free billboard.
I'm not,
and I'm not. I mean, I just buy what I like. But see, but to her, that's the problem, right? Like, she says it, but I don't believe it. So anyway, we said all this to say, is Toya a gold digger? You decide. What do you think? I mean, I don't think for your, just like you said, I don't think she is, only because I think she does love her husband. That she's not with him only for money. I feel like a gold digger is only with you just for your money. And I don't think that she's only with him just for her money. It just so happens that she's like running him into the ground.
So when we looked up the synonyms for gold digger, one of them were user.
Yeah.
So I feel like she might be under that category more than a gold digger. Because I feel like initially when she got into this relationship, she did love him. They did have a number of years where the love was somewhat of the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
But at this
and she was a
at this point,
wasn't she?
Child,
just like Quad was.
I don't know nothing about
before the show.
But right now, I feel like she's somewhat of a user because her husband is just drowning in work, and has been for the past 5 years or so, drowning.
And now he's burnt out. He don't even practice ER medicine anymore. He's totally burnt the fuck out.
And I feel like if she wasn't a user, she would have stepped in sooner at some point to help him out. And not have continued to use and drain him and put his head even further under the water. I felt like if she wasn't a user, it would have happened sooner. But because she is closer to a user, and now I don't even know if she's in love with him anymore.
I think every female on that show has like their own individual income outside of the show.
Except her.
That's what I said. Every female on there, I think, has earned income outside of the show.
Because Quad even had a TV show. Quad has cooking books.
Mm-hmm.
Quad
just bought a new house.
Mm-hmm. Quad is doing other, appearances and stuff to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Toya, that's what I was saying. While her husband was drowning, she should have, even if it was like working from home doing data entry or something while the kids were at school, or even writing a book or doing something, help him out to help him while he's drowning. But she could just continue to get the money. So who was it that you said had a part in Kendall Jackson? I thought you said it was her.
Kendall?
isn't it Kendall Jack? What is the name of the wine? Am I saying it wrong?
Oh no, Kendall Jackson is a wine.
Yeah, you were the one who said that she had some kind of stake in that because she like advertised or something for them.
Was it her?
Yes, that's what you said. And I was like, if that is the case, I said all she did was put her name on there. She ain't doing no work. You don't remember that?
I'm looking, girl. Hold on. I want to see.
But either way, you know, I think Toya. I don't know if she's cheating or not. But I will
I just
say,
hope she's not, because it will break his heart.
I will say that I think that she has some issues with money and materialistic items.
I do. I think that they would benefit from what you were mentioning earlier, which is to educate themselves. You know, spend some of that money on an accounting course or two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and learn what you can do with your resources. Learn all the options that you have to not rent while you're building another home. You know, like stuff like that, because you don't have to. She could, but you know what? You're right. Because what I was about to say is not something Toya would do. I would say she could have just bought a nice ass condo, lived in that, paid a mortgage until her house was built.
Mm-hmm.
But that's too.
Yeah,
That's too practical for her, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too practical. Oh. Yeah. TBH Entertainment. And she has a boutique wine club. Oh, yeah.
That's
part
what
of
I
Kendall
was
Jackson.
telling you.
Oh, yeah, so she does.
It
She has
was
a boutique
her.
wine
But
club.
all she is doing is putting her name on it. She's not working for that wine club.
Well, she might be getting some money from it.
But either way,
But yeah,
does she work? No. So you all decide.
I don't want it to be, but I just, want her to be a little more selfless.
Well, hopefully that's what her counselor will say next time she goes there.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, ladies, until next time, keep on running it.
Keep on running it. You decide.
Put it in chat. Let us know.